what's the program that you feel a dentist could sort of put to use right away? Like, was it virtual consults? Like, if more practices were learning how to do this element, that they can probably improve their business. Is it the fee for service type of boutique course? What's your favorite one, right? Where's a good place for them to sample what you guys do?
Yeah, so I think the first thing to do is go check out the website, right? And you can link
the
into
Thrive
that.
Dentist, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have a continuum. It's 12 courses, and they build upon one another. So they're built very intentionally. They're designed to start with Essential, then move to Credo, then Avant. We have these kind of fancy names behind them, but if you read the little subtitle, you'll know what they're about. And we have pages for each and every one of them. What I would say is, in going through those and kind of getting a feel for them, you find out where your holes are. Like, that's where you want to target, right? For those that are very clinically adept and have a pretty good business structure, and like, I want to bring it to the next level, I would say Avant, right? Photography, video, copywriting, graphic design, it's all the things, right? I'm not just going to teach you how to point a camera. Yeah. You need to know how to edit. You need to how to utilize. You need to know different formats for different places. You need how to involve the team. You need to know how to implement and integrate your photography into your workflow so that it doesn't tax you. All it does is actually reap benefits over and over and over again.
Yeah.
If you're a dentist who is struggling a little bit in terms of patient flow, or you're having a hard time communicating value, I don't think you start with photography, because that's more like scratching an itch versus dealing with the actual problem, which is you have to understand how to communicate value. But my favorite course, honestly, Nick, is Credo. That's the sales course. And I like it so much because it's so ethical. And it's the one course that if you're a periodontist, you're an endodontist, you're a general dentist, you're in public health, I don't care where you are, it will help you in every facet of your life, not just dentistry. It'll help you in relationship. We have some testimonials that are like, hey, you saved my marriage through this thing, because it's the same principles at play. Yeah. So I think that's the one that really is going to help your practice. Like, it's going to make the biggest
cash
bang.
flow and like really understand how to, okay.
100%
the production.
So yeah, those are the two I would start with. But you may have some questions. And if you have questions, I would just simply email my assistant who you've communicated with.
Yeah, she's fantastic. We went through a bunch of the programs because I was interested of like, okay, photography, but like, what if they're going to say, well, I can just go on YouTube and learn how to use a camera. It's like, but then she took me through the program and it's like, oh, actually, this is way more advanced than I thought. Is the actual how to shoot a photo is a small piece of it, but the entire workflow, the understanding, like how to approach this with the patient and like how you use this in your business, like that's really 95% of it. It's much more complicated. So I wasn't sure initially. It was like, is this just a video where you teach them how to set up a DSLR camera? It's like, I think that's a piece of it, but no, it's a very small part of the how you do that. Yeah.
No, the best analogy, which I think Dennis can understand here, is if a patient comes to you and they keep chipping that composite filling that you did on the mesial of number 9, which I guess is what, 2-1 where you guys are? You're in Canada, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, you keep chipping it and chipping and chipping it. It's really easy for me to teach you how to just put that composite back, but that's not really going to solve the problem, is it? It's going to chip again. So we have to ask, what's the cause of that chip? Why does it keep happening? And that usually is going to be a more comprehensive approach to occlusion, et cetera. It's the same thing with photography. I could teach you how to set up your camera for free.
Yeah.
The reason why we don't do that, why I don't give you a little like, oh, here's a 15-minute video on how to do that and put on YouTube, is because I actually think it's a disservice to you. Just like I think slapping some composite back on is a disservice to the patient. You have to understand the whole. And if you don't, I'm going to kind of push you into this program that's going to kind of blow your mind. I'm like, oh, that's why just taking pictures doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah, you have to understand the bigger picture here. Yeah, no,
so I'm forcing you into my container because that's the way I teach. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, we for those of interested, so we have a discount code you guys offered us, right? So anybody who wants to sign up to any of these programs, if you use the code RevUp, REVUP 50, you can get a 50% discount on the courses. And just to be clear, we don't get a kickback. We didn't want that. We were very clear with them. It's like, look, I am promoting this because I really think one is going to make our life easier. We can do the SEO, we can build the website to get their, double, triple their phone calls. But It's really not where the problem is. The problem is, like, especially with the bigger cosmetic cases, most practices don't really understand how to communicate value. Okay. So then it becomes a numbers game where you're throwing so much money at like digital marketing to, flood your phone with people so that, hopefully maybe one of them converts. Right. So it's like my thinking is like, spend less on marketing. Okay. Drop your package to minimum, do one of these courses so you actually understand how to, you and your whole team, to communicate value, and then ramp the marketing back up, because then it's going to work in unison. Right. So just so everyone's clear, it's like there isn't some sort of special agreement where if you sign up to a course, I get a little bit of money. Like, no, there is nothing there. We really thought this was a useful program. It works. Like, if you have these elements in your business, it's going to make our life easier, because then I'm not wasting my time sending 20 implant leads and then they have this terrible experience and then they say, "Oh, I don't think the marketing is working." It's like, trust me, that's not the problem. Okay.
Right.
But yeah, like, take advantage of it. It's really great programs. I've gone through it with their team in detail of like, well, what are you actually teaching? How does it work? These are very in-depth courses, not just on technical skills, but a lot of business knowledge of like, how does this fit into the whole process? How do you fit it into your workflow so it becomes a core part of the business? You will see a drastic increase in the amount of patients you book, the amount of treatment you're doing. It'll really scale up like crazy. The website, I guess, is the best place for them to start. And reach out to your team. Kind of, you guys walk them through, like, let's interview a little bit, figure out where you need to start, or how does it work?
Victoria. Our concierge assistant, Victoria. So she will happily walk you through. She's amazing at what she does. And if there's any questions she can't answer, she reaches out to me directly and we'll get that squared away. I will say, this is kind of cool. And your audience, I think they should know this. Objections, when they come up for a patient, it's the thing that we always deal with, right?
Yeah.
Objections are not a statement of where a person wants to go. They're usually a symptom of where they are, which means that there's something they don't quite understand, or there's something they're second guessing or doubting, and they need help through that. So when we talk about this course and giving 50% off and all, I'd be like, well, 50% off is kind of a lot. And like, how does this work? And you kind of brought up like, hey, I'm not getting a kickback. I want people to know the reason that it's 50% off, which we never, ever, ever do. Never done that, is because of your integrity. We usually do give an affiliate. And because Nick said, nah, I don't need it, we're basically taking what we would have given to him. And we usually give about a 10 to 20% discount for something like this. Because of your generosity, we're just going to say, all right, well then let's give him 50 because he didn't want that. So I want people to know that that's the transparency behind this. It's 50% off because Nick was very generous and really wants you guys to learn something. So I think that's really cool.
No, I mean, our goal is, we have certain components that I think we're really good at doing, but to build a really good business, it's not as simple as like doing some SEO, building a website. There's other elements involved, and we always run into dentists that I think they get taken advantage of a lot, right? Because they finish dental school and it happened to me, right? Like when I opened up my first business, I was really good at IT and I didn't know how to get more customers, right? So I hired all kinds of companies. I did social media, I did SEO, I did all these things. I spent probably about 40 grand in the first year. And at the end of it, I almost went bankrupt, right? Because everyone promised me the moon and, that, oh yeah, it's going to work really well. And then after about a year, word of mouth and referrals was still the only thing that was working, right? So I kind of had to dig myself out of a hole because I was close to bankruptcy and figure out how to do this correctly. So I've always valued that integrity element of it. It's like, I'm not promoting anything unless I think this would really help them. And I also never want any sort of financial incentive where you're questioning like, well, are you promoting this because you're getting a kickback? It's like, I don't need, like, RevUp does well. We're very successful. I don't need extra money. Like I just want to help more dentists grow. And I honestly think this program is fantastic.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So take advantage of the code. It's terrific. And, but I want to thank you for your time. This was great. I think every dentist, you want to build a fee-for-service practice. You want to build like a really successful business where people fly down from like 1,000 miles away just to come and see you. This is the elements you need. Don't hire some SEO guy. Don't like that's not how it works. Learn the business. Learn the flow you got to go through with the patient to get them to say yes. It's something that there's no shortcut around that. You got to learn this stuff.